Opened in 1960 by Bruton Smith and NASCAR driving legend Curtis Turner, with the running of the longest stock car race in history, the World 600. The Charlotte Motor Speedway closed before it would ultimately become the home track of so many NASCAR teams. Just a year after the first race, the 1.5-mile oval track was in bankruptcy, done in by a huge infield rock formation that ballooned construction costs far beyond what its two founders had forecast. Almost 60 years later, nearly everything is different. More than 94,000 seats ring the racetrack, which was the first speedway to install lights for night racing, the first racetrack to incorporate a condominium apartment complex overlooking the racing surface, the first to build an office complex with the same view, the first racetrack to sell naming rights, and the first to open a year-round club where members can spectate during races and socialize with fellow club members at other times. Everything is very different from 1960, except for one thing. The Charlotte Motor Speedway is still owned by the Smith family. Tonight, it's race number 14 of the Davidson Builders Cup Series, and it's next on HBR TV. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the virtual Charlotte Motor Speedway for race 14 of the Davidson Builders Cup Series. Take a look at the race details for tonight. 71-degree ambient temperature, 63% humidity, partly cloudy skies, an 8-mile-per-hour breeze. Track temperature, 74 degrees Fahrenheit. Fuel capacities tonight at 65%. 2 sets of tires available over the wall and 130-lap race distance to get it done here this evening. Practice just about wrapped up here at the Speedway. Let's take a look at the top times so far. Jesse Sperling quickest today, 29.353. Skylar Herod, Connor Leach, Mark Collins, Zach Millett rounding out the top 5. A 1 hour and 10-minute practice session. Get everybody comfortable and familiarized with the race car, the racetrack before we jump into the qualifying session momentarily. Qualifying will be 2 laps or 10 minutes, whichever elapses first. Taking a look at the points details coming into tonight. The playoffs are well underway. You see the drivers in the middle column. Those are the ones still eligible, hunting for that final 10. And then to crown a champion at the end of the whole thing. Dylan Bryan, Albert Anderson, Zach Millett, Chris Gones, Nick Biddy, Alfie Charon Jr., Connor Leach, Matt Sisler, Paul Durkee, Jesse Redding, Sean Roberts, Brandon Coleman, Mark Collins, Anthony Williams, and old DW himself, Derek Welch, still eligible to move on to that championship round. Nick Biddy in the 32, currently 8th on the board. About 30 seconds left in the session before Barney throws the black and red flags to close out practice. Qualifying to follow immediately after. And Biddy trying a hot entry into pit lane. It's a little crossed up. Gotta clean that up for the race. Season schedule winding down. Of course, Charlotte tonight. Don't pay any attention to the dates. We had some late season changes on that end of things. Today being the 29th. Next week, we'll be into November. It'll be November the 5th. We'll be at Talladega Super Speedway. And then one more race to close it out. And that'll be at Homestead Miami Speedway. 125 laps under the lights. See who takes to the track first here in qualifying. You got a 10-minute session, 2 laps each. Dylan Bryan appears to be the first one. And there he is. He's going to roll. Dylan Bryant with a couple of wins on the season already. Daytona and then Atlanta. Bryant clearly a good drafter. First lap for Bryant in the books, 29.445. We'll switch over to Albert Anderson. He's on his out lap, about to start that lap. Green flag for the number 99 Country Time Lemonade machine. Anderson coming up off the bottom just a bit, maybe a little early. Doesn't lift, though. Has to catch the car just a bit here in the dog leg. Let's see what kind of time we have for Anderson. Goes P2, 29.469. Sperling out of turn number 4. He's going to take the green on his qualifying attempt. Sperling across the stripe, P6, 30.334. Chris Goins, the number 41 Blue Chew Camaro, down the back straightaway. Chris Goins on the clock. Seventh quick, 29.876 for the first lap for Chris Goins. Nick Biddy, ninth quick on his first lap. See if he's got more in that second turn around Charlotte Motor Speedway, if he can pick up the pace here. Already in a top 10 position, but not sure if it'll be enough to maintain it. Still some heavy hitters to come. Biddy up the racetrack again, a little premature. Looked a lot like Albert Anderson, except no wiggle out of turn 4. Biddy goes P5, picks up the pace. Pretty big improvement, 29.483. Derek Welch into 3 and 4. He's also taken the green flag. Fifth quick, first lap, 29.476 for DW. For now, we'll stick with Derek, see if he can pick it up here on lap 2. Welch way down the bottom, clips the left side tires on the blue line at the bottom of the racetrack in 3 and 4. Slips up, doesn't lose the race car at all, keeps it pinned down to the bottom of the dog leg, and he goes outside front row. 29.412 for Derek Welch. Dylan Bryant still top of the heap, 29.374 for Bryant. Welch with a great lap, not enough to knock Bryant off. Connor Elite, out of Surrey, British Columbia. Connor with 3 wins so far out at Auto Club, Dover, and Iowa. Correction. Zach Millett won Iowa. Got 2 sessions in here, sorry, reading some bad information. But first lap for Leach, 30.176. See if Connor's got more in store. But Leach back to the dog leg. Just past 5.5 minutes here in qualifying. Leach goes outside front row, 29.405. Mark Collins in the number 23 machine. Mark out of Castlewood, Virginia. First lap for Collins, 12th fast, 29.933. Car looked real good through 1 and 2, very stable. Probably could open up the wheel a bit more if he wanted some of that momentum, but shorter distance too. Fresh tires, he's got all the grip he needs. Down to the bottom of the racetrack, about a foot off the bottom. Bit of a lift on exit into the dog leg, cross the start-finish line. Let's see where Mark Collins lines out. Looked good, and it was 29.403 seconds for Mark Collins. Puts it on the front row. Alfie Charon Jr. in the Popple Team's number 9. Some of the Track Bar Motorsports drivers swapping sponsors this week. This is third or fourth race in a row, I think, for Alfie running this scheme. 3 minutes left in the session. Bryant still the top time, 29.374. Sharon goes at 29.7 his first lap. Switch over to Zach Millett. Millett also runs a 29.7, a high 7, 14th quick on his first turnaround. Millett looking real good off turn 4. Still got the hammer down as Charon goes outside front row. Millett crosses the stripe. He goes outside front row. 29.376. Missed it by 2/1000ths of a second. Josh Moore in trouble off turn number 2. He's going to end his qualifying session in the fence. That's Sisler out of Auburn Hills, Michigan. 16th to 29.872, first time. Should see a pickup here. Second lap, 11th quick, 29.489. You see those times getting very close. Top of the board. About a minute left in this session. We're going to take a real short break, and we'll be back with our starting grid after this.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head to head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
Back at Charlotte Motor Speedway, qualifying complete. Let's take a look at the starting grid. On the pole position with a lap time of 29.374 seconds, it's the number 28 All-Star Racing driver, Dylan Bryant. Outside front row missed it by 2/1000ths of a second, the 3:15 of Zach Millett. Row number 2, it's Alfie Sharon and Mark Collins. Row 3, it's Connor Leach and Derek Welch. Row number 4, Jesse Sperling in the number 29 and Jesse Redding in the 21. Row 5, Albert Anderson and Nick Biddy rounding out the top 10. 11th starter is the 93 of Matt Sisler. 12th will go to Chris Goins. Skylar Herod will start 13th. Sean Roberts 14th. 15th, Anthony Williams. Brandon Coleman 16th. 17th starter will be Josh Moore. 18th goes to Joe David. 19th starter, Chris Klein. Paul Durkee starts from the 20th spot. Tom Barish 21st. And Ben McKinnon rolling off from the 22nd starting position. Your starting grid here from Charlotte Motor Speedway. Field sits on the starting grid as they get ready to roll. Still waiting on Josh Moore. Paging Dr. Moore. Dr. Moore to the grid. Josh Moore, the number 18 machine who had his issue in practice. Looks like he has made the grid now. I think we're going to roll away here momentarily. And there we go. Take another look at the race details for tonight. 130 laps the race distance. 70-degree air temperature, 67% humidity, partly cloudy skies, 7-mile-per-hour breeze. Track temp nice and cool. Going to make all sorts of grip at 72 degrees Fahrenheit. Drivers working with a 65% fuel load tonight. 2 sets of tires over the wall. No fast repairs. 0 zip zillage. 3 green-white checkered attempts if it comes down to it. Connor Leach going to pull down. Oh, Connor Leach with a problem. He goes into the wall on the back straightaway. Maybe lost connection, maybe a problem with the steering wheel, a hardware failure, it seems, for Connor Leach. He may be out of this one before we get going. Leach sits parked there in the back straightaway. We're still coming to green. We'll see if they wave it off. And they're going to go green.
Flag.
There it is. Green flag called for. We're up to speed. Connor Leach still parked in the back straightaway, it appears. Now, looks like he is towed back to pit lane. Not sure the scenario there with the 71, but Connor Leach off to a terrible start. Didn't even take the start, unfortunately, for the 71. Meanwhile, back to start finish. Dylan Bryant leads lap number 1. Millett runs second. Alfie Sharon third. Sperling and Anderson rounding out the top 5. Sperling up a few spots already, 3 to be exact. Meanwhile, battle with Mark Collins and Matt Sisler. They're side by side down the backstretch. Sisler with the preferred position on the inside. And Sisler's clear, so move the number 93 to the 6th spot. Derek Welch in the black and green number 1 up a lane in the 9th position. He's lost a few from the start of this race, but starting to regroup and work his way back. Battling around the outside of the 3 of Skylar Herod. Skylar with some fresh colors this week as well, black and green also. Here comes the 41 of Chris Goins. Welch. May got the wall out of turn 4 there. Meanwhile, change for the race lead. Millett to the point. Gets clear. Dylan Bryant. Bryant's going to lose a couple out of this. Alfie Charon goes to the bottom. Now Charon looking for the race lead. Sperling in the third spot behind both Track Bar Motorsports drivers. Alfie Charon goes to the point. Go back and watch the replay here. The pass for the lead with Millett getting underneath Dylan Bryant. This out of turn 4. Bryant up the racetrack. I think he's starting to lose the handling a bit already. You see the rear end of the race car stepping out just slightly. But there you have it. Pass for the race lead. But quickly, as you saw it happen live, Alfie Charon took it over. But now we do have a crash. Skylar Herod facing the wrong direction here at Charlotte. See what happened with the 3. Was in behind Jesse Redding. Chris Gones was behind the 3. Off-centered push. It gets Herod checked up here a bit, up the racetrack into Derek Welch. Both drivers end up in the outside wall. Back it up a little further here. Meanwhile, we have a lot of pit stops underway already. Dylan Bryant wrapping up his stop. Just fuel only for just about everybody up and down pit lane. A few drivers did stay out. That was Brandon Coleman, Paul Durkee, Ben McKinnon, and ironically, they're all on the same team. So some strategy at play for the GOATs right now as they occupy the top 3 positions. Not opting for fuel this early on. They're going to gamble a bit, maybe get an opportunity later to top up, as they've moved themselves up quite a few positions. Ben McKinnon in third. He's gained 19 out of this strategy. However, through all that, Zach Millett's going to restart in the 4th position. Just a little bit more fuel on board. Stream chat is open and live, folks. Don't be bashful. No chatters just yet. It's been quiet over here in the chat. And it looks like the GOATs have thought better of it, reworking their strategies. The 3 of them now do come to pit lane. Fuel only for the GOATs as well, but they're going to restart deep in the field as we go back to green here soon. So that'll give Zach Millett, Alfie Charon the front row yet again. Alfie had the lead at the time of caution, but Millett takes it back in the pits. Millett with a slower pit stop, but about 4.5 tenths faster in pit lane overall. Pace car lights go out, so next time by we'll be racing again. We're on the one to go, so lap 11 we'll be back under the green flag. And we've got the Vigilante Racing Network in the chat. Says, hey Steve, good luck Albert, Dylan, and Derek. Speaking of the Vigilante Racing Network, tune in tomorrow night here on HBR TV for our inaugural broadcast of the VRL, the Vigilante Racing League. It'll be Homestead Miami Speedway, finishing up their season as they've just got a few races left in their season, in their playoffs. We're going to continue to broadcast for them for the near and foreseeable future, if everything goes well. I have no doubt that it will. Thanks for checking in, Lori. All right, doubled up as you can see. Pace car lights are out. Getting ready to go racing yet again here. Lap 11. Pace car is in. Barney with the green in hand.
Green flag.
And there it is. Green flag is out. Millet with a good jump on the restart. Sharon tucks in behind. Albert Anderson now running in the third spot. Then it's Sisler and Bryant to round out the top five. Dylan Bryant in the fifth spot, looking to the high side on Matt Sisler. Does he have an option here? No, has to tuck back in behind the number 93 through the dog leg. They're both up the racetrack just a bit. Chris Goins in a 41 to the inside of Bryant. He's going to try and take advantage and pull a draft from the 99 of Albert Anderson as well. Fighter pilot formation here in the top six as Millet starting to fly away. Meanwhile, the field quickly catches the 315. Charon on the outside. Millet slams the door on his teammate. Meanwhile, Anderson to the bottom of the racetrack. He's looking for a second position here as well. Chris Goins working his way to the inside of Matt Sisler. Behind them, it's Jesse Redding and Dylan Bryant. Lots of action here in the top 10 as Nick Biddy and Sperling get into this mix as well. Alfie Charon switching lanes for a moment, but opens the door back up for Albert Anderson. On board with the number 99, the driver's eye cam as we look forward to the second and first places. Through the dogleg, 15 laps complete to the outside of Anderson's Matt Sisler. Sisler gets clear. Big bump from Anderson. Upsets the 93 and Vince. Going to slip up the racetrack as he loses the nose in the dirty air from Zach Millet. Meanwhile, Charon edges up in front here. Van Anderson going to the inside. A brazen move for the 99, but he has to lift out of it to not wreck the 93. Great racing here at the front of the field so far. Top 12 cars starting to separate from the rest of the field, but the battling is going on hot and heavy here up front. Bryant now to the inside of Jesse Sperling. While out front, still Millett and Sharon battling side by side for the top spot. Anderson, Sisler, third and fourth. The battle for fifth hotly contested between Chris Goins and Jesse Redding. Sisler drops down in front of Chris Goins. That's right on board with Chris Goins here as he runs in the fifth and sixth position. It's kind of back and forth. Goins right in the back of Sisler again, giving the 93 a bit of a nudge. Just ahead of them, Matt Sisler, of course, in the fourth spot. Albert Anderson, third. Millett trying to battle back on the outside for the race lead. 21 laps in the books. Millett to the high side. Not clear of teammate Sharon just yet. Real high up the racetrack, and have a huge run off turn number 2. Drives away from second and third, but Sisler takes the second spot from Sharon as well. He runs similar lines to Millett there. Gains all that momentum. Here comes Sharon up the racetrack. Has to check up to avoid the 41 of Goins. Sharon dropping back. He was the race leader just a couple of laps ago. Now finds himself fourth and fifth. Don't know if he overheated those Goodyear Racing Eagles, but not the pace that he had just short time ago. Sharon driving it in deep here, closes up to the back of Jesse Sperling, but Sperling driving away on exit. Nick Biddy in a bit of a battle himself. That's with the 33 of Sean Roberts. Anthony Williams in behind in the number 5 machine. Roberts takes the spot from Biddy, move the number 33 up into the 9th position. Roberts up 5 spots from the drop of the green flag, but let's talk about this top 3. Zach Millett, of course, started outside pole. He's up that 1 spot with the race lead, but Matt Sisler and Chris Goins, second and third, both drivers forward progress of 9 positions from the top of the green flag. Sisler around the inside here, going for that second spot. Maybe it's the other way around. Chris Goins up top trying to take P2 from the 93. Sperling's going to give him a bit of a push here. That's going to help the advantage for Chris Goins. Sisler goes from second to fourth. Might lose fourth as well as Dylan Bryant's to the outside. Didn't talk about the fuel window at all tonight. We know it's a 65% fuel load, but the pit window, 34 to 38 laps. if we run them all under green. Last pit stop for most of these drivers about lap 7, lap 8. Probably another 10 laps or so before we see green flag stops, provided we don't get a caution. About half the field pretty well strung out to this point. The top 12 still battling relatively aggressively. We're seeing that all the way through. Nick Biddy back on the charge as Alfie Sharon starts to fall back again. Sharon was shot out of a cannon early on, but I don't know if he just got his tires too hot or wore them off a little too early, but he's slipping back here. Again, it wasn't that long ago, maybe 10, 12 laps. Alfie was the race leader. He's now back in the ninth position with Nick Biddy approaching about a car length and a half off the back bumper of the Popple number 9. On board with the 32. We got Tundrax in the stream chat. It says, Biddy the Bush League King, let's go. There's got to be a story there. Someone fill me in. Meanwhile, Sean Roberts and Albert Anderson going at it here. Roberts to the bottom, Anderson up top in the yellow Country Time Lemonade machine. This the battle for the 6th position. Roberts has just got the nose alongside for a moment, dives back down into turn 3, gains the advantage again, but Albert Anderson, unless he receives the slide job here, he's going to have a run off of 4. Oh, and he makes contact with Roberts. The 33 in the fence here. Very slow through the dog leg. Are we going to get a caution? Interestingly enough, one is not thrown. Seemed like Roberts was trying to get close to traffic to trigger that. Didn't happen. I hate to do it this way, but I don't have any other way right now since it didn't throw the yellow. We're just going to rewind this to show it so we get a better idea of how this happened. I know it was close coming off turn 4. 33 of Roberts, the 99 of Albert Anderson. This was the exit of turn 4. We talked about that slide job, and I think Sean was just too close to get it done. Yeah, he's not clear already, and he's coming up. Anderson's coming up as well, but too close. So Zach Millett still out in front, 35 laps in the books, approaching, well, not quite, 34 to 38. We're going to be making green flag stops here, probably in and around the next 7 to 10 laps. Hearing some drivers already in fuel save mode, I wonder if Zach Millett's starting to lift and coast. Let's ride on board with the 315. and listen to see if he's trying to save some extra fuel. Down into 1 and 2. No fuel saved just yet. I think Millett might have got the wall there a bit on entry to 3. Definitely not saving any gas, though. "38 laps in the books. Top 5 is Zach Millett, Chris Goins, Jesse Sperling, Dylan Bryant, Matt Sisler. And Jesse Redding, Albert Anderson, Alfie Charon, Nick Biddy, Joe David, the top 10. Sean Roberts, after contact with Albert Anderson, finds himself back in the 20th position. Last lap for Roberts, a 31.51. Only a 10th off the pace from the race leader, Zach Millett. So doesn't appear that the damage received is really hurting that car too much. He's got pace still. Joshua Moore just up ahead of Sean Roberts. We got Plus EV Racing asking if the 18 has any damage. I don't see any particularly. The car looks really clean from this perspective. I can't get a good look at the right side, but I think he's all right. Again, last lap for Moore, 31.55. Race leader was a 31.45. So again, only about a 10th off. Tom Barish making an appearance here this week. Meanwhile, battles shaping up here closer to the front of the field. Alfie Charon, Nick Biddy side by side. Jesse Redding going around Albert Anderson. Remember, Alfie dropped back to about the 10th spot. He's starting to work his way forward as he's picked up the 7th position. Trying to get clear of the 99 to make sure that's his spot. And we got Papa Goat in the stream chat. Says, let's go Pops. Hashtag Team Anderson 99. Thanks for checking in. Meanwhile, Charon finally gets clear of Albert Anderson. Charon in the 7th spot. Next on the list will be Jesse Redding, and looks like he's going after him right now. Redding hanging out of the spot for the time being. That's P6. See Paul Durkee in the number 13 machine running there in the 9th spot. He's starting to make some ground up on the race leaders. Remember, they made a strategy play. They stayed out to get out front. Their top 3 in those top 3 positions. Then they pit a lap later when everybody else had completed theirs. Set themselves up to be at the back of the pack. But now here we are at the end of this run, and Paul Durkee has cracked into the top 10. Meanwhile, Brandon Coleman back in 15th. Ben McKinnon still 20th. Millett still out in front, about a half-second advantage over teammate Chris Goins. Dylan Bryant up to 3rd, Sperling 4th, Sisler 5th. And we watch the battle with 6 and 7 right now. Redding has it. Charon trying to take it away, but Charon's going to be a little more gingerly with the 21 as their teammates. He's got to find a clean way around. Can't rough him up too much. Meanwhile, Joe David's going to take advantage of that fact. He gets to the inside, drives up the track, door slams the 9 off turn 2. Talk about poking the bear. They do it again into turn 3. I think Alfie turned down on the 6 this time. We'll keep a close eye on this battle. David tried to tuck in behind, but Albert Anderson was alongside, so that plan didn't go as accordingly. Taryn maintaining the 7th position. Now Anderson trying to clear the 6th. Once again, folks, stream chat's open. We got a couple of you guys saying hello, and I do appreciate that, but those are rookie numbers. Let's get more up there. Got to pump that up. Biddy way up the racetrack. He's going to have a big-time run here around Anderson in just a moment off turn number 2. A little bit of a draft from the 9 machine as well. And Biddy gets clear, switches lanes. He may get 2 for 1 here. Goes to the inside on Alfie Sharon. Biddy attached to a rocket. Remember I said we were going to have pit stops around lap 42? No, we're not. That's just because I can't math. That's why I do this for one of my jobs. So smart. Meanwhile, out front, Millet still with the lead, but Goins closing the gap. It was half a second just a few laps ago. Now it's down to less than a quarter. Top 2 have put some distance on third place Dylan Bryant. It's almost 2 full seconds from Millet back to third place. And we got Lori Vickers in the chat, says, let's go Sperling. Love watching that 29 on the track. Love to watch the broadcast. You do a great job, Steve. Lori, thank you very much. I do appreciate that. I try. That's all I can say is I try. I don't think I'm great or nothing, but as long as you guys like it, I'm good with it. So 50 laps in the books now. Now I expect to see some pit stops here in the next 2 to 8 laps. Yeah, I know I'm going out on a big limb there, but and here comes Zach Millet to pit lane. Hanging the rear end of the car right out. Looks like most everybody else stays out. There was a few that opted before. Derek Welch, Jesse Redding, and Skylar Herod. They hit pit lane. Albert Anderson, Chris Klein, Mark Collins as well. Welch down and away. Anderson comes to a stop in his pit box. Is this a fuel-only stop for Millet? Indeed, it was. 11.9 seconds for the 315. He's trying to save a set of tires, and Lord, I can't say that I blame him. Meanwhile, Dylan Bryant takes over the top spot. Matt Sisler second, Biddy third. Roberts going to cycle up to fourth. It's currently the top 4 drivers still needing to make a pit stop. And we got Blitz Ryu in the chat. Let's go TBM, except for that Millet guy. He win too much. Dylan Bryant on pit lane. So is Matt Sisler, Nick Biddy, Alfie Charon, many others. So second pit stops of the evening here. First under the green flag. Bryant stops in his box, maintains the top spot for now. Millet's going to come around, but 36 seconds back. How long will it take? 4 tires and fuel for Bryant. Again, Millet opted for fuel only, so Bryant's going to be quick at this stage. This fuel run, if you will. Millet takes over the top spot. Bryant down and away. So it's Millet and Goins. A little bit of an oddity here on this cycle of pit stops. Zach Millet, total pit lane time 40.12, which isn't terrible by any means, but Chris Goins, he bested him. 39.95 seconds total pit lane time. A little bit longer pit stop, but got in and out quicker. Chris Goins, learning from one of the best. Millet now with the lead here, about 6-7 tenths over Chris Goins, but Dylan Bryant back about 5.5 seconds, though he does have fresh tires. He's going to be much faster. Let's take a look at those lap times here. Millet, his last lap, a 31.42 as the race leader. Dylan Bryant running in the 3rd spot. just put on fresh tires. When we see him cross the stripe, we'll get a gauge on what kind of lap time he's running with clean, fresh tires. Back to start finish, Dylan Bryant at the line, 29.79 versus a 31.56 of the race leader. Will not be long, and Bryant will retake the top spot. He's cut about a second and a half into that lead here in just one lap. It will not be long. Field pretty well strung out at this point. Albert Anderson running in P6. Derek Welch taking a peek to the inside on Nick Biddy. Derek Welch gets through cleanly. So move Welch up into the 8th spot. So it's Welch, Biddy, and Sharon to round out the top 10. And you know what? I got to say this. Connor Leach has made it back into the session. Yeah, I don't know what exactly happened to the 71. He had a problem on the pace lap. Entering turn 3, the car took a hard left into the inside wall, and he was not able to leave. My only assumption is he had some sort of hardware failure with his pedals and or steering wheel. Seems that he's got it righted. Connor Leach, multiple laps down. 25 to be specific, but he's back out there trying to turn the laps the best that he can, and I give him all the credit in the world for doing it. So as we expected, Dylan Bryant takes over the top spot from Zach Millett. Didn't take long at all. Let's take a look at it. Just a moment ago, you see the delta between the 28 and the 315 as Bryant goes to the bottom and clears Millett and the 12 all in one fall swoop into turn number 3. Bryant to the point. So the scenario here, though, again, Millett's on old tires. Keep that in mind. So he still has 2 sets of fresh rubber over the wall as we're just about 6-7 laps shy of halfway. That means, I believe, with 2 more stops to go at least, Millett should be good to bolt on tires on both stops if he chooses to do so. So that'll swing the other direction. Again, Bryant with 1 set still over the wall, so he has to be strategic about when he puts those on. Trying to catch some battles here. This is for the 8th position. Joe David Scott and Anthony Williams trailing. Jesse Sperling not too far off, about 5, 6, 7 car lengths back from the 5. This battle right here seems to be the most fun to watch. However, the car in the middle there, the 71 of Leach, is multiple laps down. He's just turning laps, folks. While the 11, a bit of a run to the inside of Albert Anderson. Coleman's going to get clear and take the spot. I think Coleman took tires on his pit stop as well. Indeed, he did. 14.8 seconds was his pit stop, so that indicates a 4-tire change in most cases. So Nick Biddy and Tom Barish now in a bit of a battle. Tom Barish in the number 65. That's on the paint. Should be the number 55, but either way. Barish gets by Biddy without a problem either. Again, fresh tires for Tom Barish. Meanwhile, back out front, Dylan Bryant with the lead, and he's got almost 10 seconds on the rest of the field. That's the differential in fresh tires versus old. Those lap times are starting to equalize, though not by much. Dylan Bryant ran a 30.55. Zach Millett with the old tires ran a 31.67. So still about a full second plus differential in lap time between the first place and third place machines. So that deficit is going to get bigger and bigger and bigger. Bryant off turn number 4, going to cross the stripe and put us past halfway. So what that means is, well, we're going to go to break. HBR TV side by side. Stay with us. We'll be back after this.
I met Marcos Garza when we were doing radiothons for St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. We needed sponsors to help us raise money, and he's always the first one to jump in. I would describe Marcos and his team as upstanding, someone you can trust, and he is just a genuine guy.
Marcos has been very generous. He has a genuine concern for people. You need somebody that cares about you. And that's what Marcos is, and that's pretty much what this firm is.
The Garza Law Firm. Let us help.
Back at Charlotte Motor Speedway, we watched the battle here with Matt Sisler and Zach Millett. Sisler, the victor so far, puts himself up into the third spot. Anthony Williams going to do the same. He gets past the 315, takes fourth. Derek Welch applying pressure. He's going to slide by as well. So it's going to move Millett back into the sixth spot, and Joe David challenging with Mark Collins there as well. Biggest thing for Millett right here is to stay on the lead lap. That's what he has to focus on. Again, Millett about a half lap behind the race leader currently. We're 74 laps in here at Charlotte. Green flag pit stops yet again approaching, but still 15 to 20 laps away. Chris Goins is going to hit pit lane. Chris Goins brings the Blue Shoe 41 down pit road. Goins going to bolt on at least right sides here. Drops the jack. Crew goes around to the left. 4 tires and Sunoco race fuel for Chris Goins. Car back on the ground. He's down and away. 14.83 seconds to stop. He's going to put Goins a lap down here, but he's going to have pace. Jesse Sperling also brings his Chevrolet to pit lane. Sperling slides to his stop, and here comes Zach Millett. He's pulling the short pit here. He's like, you know what, I've had enough. It's time to put some tires on.
Caution.
And caution's out as Millett's on pit lane. This could actually work out in his favor. Sean Roberts is in the fence. Millett down and away. So I think Millett lost a lap on this, and he's actually going to be the 3rd car lap down. So Ben McKinnon should get the lucky dog here. Millett's going to have to wait for another opportunity. Let's see what happened here with Sean Roberts just a moment ago. Roberts up the racetrack. This out of turn 2, turn 4. Gets the fence, has to cross up a bit, gets into the Skylar Herod. They both go through the dogleg simulated grass slightly. Roberts spins it around here right at start finish, gets her straightened back out and back in the mix, almost getting clipped. It looked like that was Chris Klein. Caution on the Speedway yet again. 2nd of the night. It's been a pretty clean race thus far. Pit stops underway. Here come the field. Dylan Bryant going to lead everybody down. Or is he? Only a few. Bryant leads Connor Leach, who's not on the lead lap. Then Matt Sisler, Joe David, Anthony Williams, Brandon Coleman, Nick Biddy, Albert Anderson. I would assume Ben McKinnon and Skylar Herod as well. We'll see. He might be getting caught up to the back end of this field. But that's going to give the race lead to Chris Klein. Millett becomes the 2nd car 1 lap down. So Bryant went fuel only this time. Remember, he did take those tires on that last pit stop, so he's going to have to suffer through this one. Nick Biddy, Albert Anderson leaving pit lane. So there's Chris Klein. He'll be your leader when we go back to green. 80 laps in the books here at Charlotte. Pace car light's still on, so we're going to go another time around before we hopefully get the one to go. Should give us a restart at lap 83. Well, we can. Let's take another look here at this incident with Sean Roberts a moment ago. See, he's already around here. Let's try to get a better idea of how this one happened. You see, it really starts here. Roberts alongside Connor Leach. Leach not on the lead lap by any means. Neither is Sean Roberts, but Alfie Charon, aggressive as always. That's the way he gets it done. He's to the inside. To Alfie, he's just passing a couple of lap cars, but it looks like Roberts gets some significant dirty air, or he blew it right front. Hard to tell, but he slides up the racetrack. Now he puts a bunch of wheel into it, but he's still going to get the outside wall, which is going to cross him up into the path of Skylar Harrod. He tries to straighten it before he gets there, but it just wasn't in time. Let's see Chris Klein roll through here. Just barely misses him. That was close. So there we have it. Doubled back up here on the backstretch. Wave around cars, trying to get caught up still. So our front row is going to be Chris Klein, Mark Collins, then row 2, Welch, Barish, then Bryant, David, Williams, Coleman, and Biddy and Anderson to round out the top 10. Pace car is in.
Green flag.
There it is, green flag. Klein on the jump. Derek Welch timed it perfectly. Gets into that second spot without an issue. Mark Collins slips to third. Dylan Bryant alongside Tom Barish. Barish up the racetrack. Bryant takes the spot cleanly. David now to the inside. Millet going to the inside. Big time move. Picking up a couple. He's going to take this lap back himself. Way down the bottom of the racetrack, slipping and sliding, dirt tracking it through 4. David gets contact with Tom Barish, sends him down into Zach Millet. Millet takes a ride through the grass, but the caution comes out. Wow. Didn't catch the contact with Barish. Barish sent, I think, Joe David down into the right side of Zach Millet. Not sure, but I think Millet may get his lap back for this, but let's see what happened. Yeah, wreck already in play here. Let's back it up further. So the 65 Tennessee Titan machine to the top, all the way to the left by the wall. Joe David in the middle, Zach Millet to the right on the inside. So they're 3 wide coming to the dog leg. Barish turns right into the dog leg and just gets into the 6, but it seems like Joe David didn't turn. Might have thought Millet was closer than he actually was trying to give the 315 some room. Barish sends the 6 down into Millet. Millet is able to keep it straight, drives it through the grass, a little bit of an off-road excursion, but keeps it relatively straight. Major impacts for the 65 and the 6. Brandon Coleman, Connor Leach, Anthony Williams all getting a piece of this as well. They're going to hit the inside wall pretty hard. Oh, big impact for Connor Leach. His night's likely over. And then Skylar Harrod getting into him after the fact. Monster hit. ×2 for Connor Leach. Watch the 71 here. Surprise. Yep, night over for Connor Leach as well. Tough break. So it does appear that Millett did get the lucky dog out of this. He's shown in the 11th position. He'll need a wave around, but I'm pretty sure he's going to need some repairs as well. Let's take a look, see if we can get a good look. Now, the left side looks okay, but that's not where he took the hit. Unless he made a pit stop, which he may have, and yes, indeed he did. Now, that was at lap 79, though. I don't know. I think Zach may have gotten away somewhat cleanly with this. I don't know if the steering wheel is straight or not. Let's see if we can pull Zach in the broadcast booth and get a word with the driver of the 315. Zach, it's Steve in the booth. You got me?
Hey, Steve, what's up, buddy?
Zach, we're watching this race, and it's pretty chaotic out there. I know you were a lap down trying to get all you could, but then chaos ensued to your outside. How much damage does that 315 have, or did you get away cleanly?
I don't know how it happened, Steve, but it says it's clean. I had Gonesy come up to the right side. He says it's perfectly clean on that side, so I think we're good to go, man. We only got a couple laps on these tires, and we got one more over the wall, so we'll see what happens.
Lucky enough to get the lap back here as we take the one to go the next time by. Good luck the rest of the way.
Thanks, man.
Zach Millett, driver of the 315. A very near miss. Can't really even call it a miss. I mean, he was in it. He had about 5-6 different opportunities to crash that car in that incident, but somehow kept it going down the road. Sisler's going to hit pit lane here. So are some others. Albert Anderson, Dylan Bryant, Coleman. Of course, you got Harrod, David, and Barish in the pits. They were involved in the incident. Connor Leach as well. Josh Moore is also out of this race. I did not see what happened. Last we checked, he didn't have any damage or anything of the sort. But he is no longer within the session. I don't know if he had a different issue, but either way, he's gone. We'll miss you, Josh. Hope to see you next week at least. So as you can see, pace car lights are out. Going back green flag racing the next time by. We've got 12 cars on the lead lap. It's Williams, Biddy, Klein, Welch, McKinnon, Collins, Sharon, Sisler, Bryant, Anderson, Millett, and Gones. Jesse Redding's in 13th. The first car one lap down. Pace car hits pit lane. We wait for Barney to wave the green as they enter the Geico restart zone.
Flag.
Green flag back in the air, lap 89. Anthony Williams leads them down into turn number one. Nick Biddy second, Chris Klein third, Derek Welch in fourth. Battle is on, though, for the 5th position. Mark Collins to the bottom of the racetrack. Ben McKinnon up top in the 12. Loses the spot. Collins takes it over. Jesse Redding, though, not on the lead lap. He's got some pace. He's going to work his way to the front as well. Meanwhile, change for the race lead. Nick Biddy underneath Anthony Williams. Williams top of the racetrack. Biddy switches from the bottom to the top on corner exit. New leader, lap 90. It's Nick Biddy. 41 to go. Oh, trouble behind Zach Millett. The 12 is in the fence with Albert Anderson. Dylan Bryant just barely misses it. We stay green. Go back and take a look at that one. That was straight up. Ben McKinnon crashed, just didn't bring out the yellows. A little bit of contact, it looks, definitely between him and Albert Anderson. And you see Dylan Bryant, we'll look at it again here, nice and slow. Watch Dylan Bryant sneak by on the inside, just barely. Could have been a day ender for the 28. Biddy's still out in front. Millett working his way back through. He's already up into the 4th position. Remember, he restarted 11th. And also, don't forget, Millett still has a set of tires over the wall. Meanwhile, Albert Anderson's going to hit pit lane here, sustain some damage from that contact. Top 5, it's Biddy, Charon, Millett up to 3rd, Williams 4th, Goins 5th. Remember, a couple of those guys were a lap down not that long ago. Jesse Redding, the interloper in the number 21. He is not on the lead lap presently, but he's the first car 1 lap down. He would need a caution or just get by the 32 here and wait for the caution to come back out. He'd loop back around, catch the tail end of the lead lap, and still be in this. Plenty of time to go. Oh, but Redding disappears for a minute and comes back in. Race leader Nick Biddy, a 31.23. About a 10th quicker than Millett the last time. About the same over Alfie Charon, though Charon was faster the previous lap. We'll watch it this time as Charon finally gets clear of Jesse Redding. Back to the stripe. Biddy at the line, a 32.99. Charon runs about a 10th slower. Millett running in 3rd. Chris Goins further back in the 4th position. About 2 seconds back from the 315. Then in 5th, it's Anthony Williams. Further on down the line, 6th place goes to Chris Klein. Klein having a good day. He started 18th, up in that 6th spot, making his way through. Matt Sisler running back in P7. Derek Welch from his 6th place starting spot runs in the 8th spot. Mark Collins just behind him in 9th. Dylan Bryant runs 10th after a very near miss. Remember, Bryant's got a set of tires he's got to burn too. He's out there on old rubber. And then Ben McKinnon, the last car on the lead lap in the number 12. Started 22nd. Further on down the line, off the lead lap, Jesse Redding, the first car one lap down as he rides in behind Alfie Charon. Paul Durkee in the 13th position. Jesse Sperling, that is. Jesse Sperling running back in the 14th spot. Brandon Coleman in 15th. Skylar Harrod in the 3 with some nose damage in that incident from our last big caution. Though he is still out on the racetrack turning laps. Albert Anderson still in pit lane. I don't know if he just threw in the towel after that one or what the situation is, but he's been in the pits for 4+ minutes. Joe David marked as the 18th position. Tom Barish still in pit lane in 19th. Sean Roberts 20th, but he's left the session. Connor Leach still waiting for some repairs as Anderson's back out on the racetrack. Joshua Moore listed as 22nd. So we had Shugu, says, sure would have been nice to talk to you at the end of this, but computer freezing and getting taken out in the back finished my night. Let's go, Biddy. Sisk Speed Shop has been on it all night with the strategy. Who's Shugu? I know I've seen it before, but I don't know who it is in the session. Oh, Nick Biddy in fuel safe mode. Let's ride on board with the 32. Let's listen into 3 here, see if he's lifting and coasting. There it is. Meanwhile, Zach Millett has cleared Alfie Charon for the 2nd spot. Millett in second, running about a 10.5 a lap faster than race leader Nick Biddy. But again, Biddy in fuel save. Shugu is Connor Leach. All right, that makes sense. Been a tough night for Shugu. Again, I said it earlier on, Connor, I'm really impressed to see you come back out after that pace lap failure. Come out and turn laps. He did pick up 1 extra spot, I believe. Connor Leach will finish tonight in the 21st position. "25 laps to go here from Charlotte Motor Speedway. Things coming to a close. Field pretty well strung out. Just a matter of how long will it be before Zach Millett can reel in Nick Biddy, and will he be able to do anything with him once he gets there? Chris Goins making a final pit stop here with 24 to go. Goins going to take his final set of tires. I don't know if it was a reflection or if Goins actually used a faster pair there. Nonetheless, right sides only, though, for the 41. He's going to gamble a little bit on the tire strategy. He's down and away. That becomes the question. I know Millett's got the pace right now as he continues to cut into that lead from Nick Biddy, but will fuel be a question? Millett's last pit stop for fuel, lap 179. No, lap 79, I'm sorry. And with 22 to go, I know we've had some cautions. I don't know if he's got enough to make it to the end. That may explain why Biddy's trying to save as aggressively as he is. Maybe there's a chance that Biddy can make it, because Nick's pit stop was 6 laps after Millett. And here comes Millett now, onto pit lane for the final time, under the green flag. Remember, caution came out the last time Millett pit, just as he made it to the pit box. So last scheduled stop. Fun fact, too, Zach Millett did tell us pre-race that if he wins tonight's race, he's taking the whole team out for ice cream. He's got to nail this pit stop. Right side tires, does he go 2? That's 2 tires only. Millett down and away. Same thing, trying to save some time on pit lane. 9.03 second pit stop for Zach Millett. Right side tire change only. Now Alfie Sharon, another Track Bar Motorsports entry. Let's see what the 9 does. Is he going to go with 4 or is he going to stick with 2 as well? I won't say it on the air, but check out the stream chat for some comedy about the flavor of the ice cream. Right side tire change for Alfie. RPM stay low. 4 tire change for the number 9. So back out front, Nick Biddy still with the race lead. He has a full lap on Zach Millett. You see him in the background, not too far back, but far enough. Millett, the first car, 1 lap down, so in a good position if the caution were to come out, or these pit stops continue under the green flag. Biddy still saving fuel as much as he can. Nick Biddy into the dog leg yet again. 17 to go at the line. You see Millett really closing the gap. Just the right side tires alone, enough to show a huge advantage for the 315 as he takes back one of his laps. Puts Millett back on the lead lap, but Biddy still with the race lead overall. Still might see the 32 hit pit lane here sooner than later. I think Biddy might just be crossing his fingers for a caution. Nick started in the 10th spot here tonight. Through some pace and a little bit of strategy, he's put himself out in front with an opportunity to win this race. The final pit stop looming large. Current top 10, Nick Biddy, Anthony Williams, Matt Sisler, Derek Welch, Chris Klein. Then Dylan Bryant, Mark Collins, Zach Millett, Chris Goins, Ben McKinnon. Alfie Sharon Jr. in 11th, first car 1 lap down. Biddy with a 10-plus second advantage over Matt Sisler in second as Anthony Williams hits pit road for his final stop of the day. Williams was a top 5 car at the time. Fuel only for the 5. Ben McKinnon rolls down. Might have to back it up. Yes, he does. Right side tire change. Does he go with just 2? That's going to be 4. Biddy with 12 laps to go, still on the racetrack. I'm going to go on board here again and see when he's saving, if it's every corner now or if it's just 3 and 4. He's on the throttle right now on exit. Let's listen to him get into turn 3. Maybe a lift and coast again. Trying to stretch the fuel. Big time lift, way before the corner. Picks up the throttle a little earlier though. Jesse Redding goes around the outside. Redding gets one of his laps back. Another lift into 1. It was a gentle lift for Biddy this time, not a real abrupt. You lift too aggressively, a lot of times you can upset the balance of the race car. The rear end wants to step out. You shift all that weight to the nose of the car. Meanwhile, Alfie Sharon Jr. going by on the inside. Here comes the 13. Paul Durkee going to do the same. Albert Anderson in behind. I think he's going to pick it up as well, but Nick Biddy way off the pace. It was almost 32 seconds the last time. It was a 31.8 this time. At the line, Nick Biddy's got 9 laps to go. Does he have enough in the tank to make it to the end of this? Change for position in second place. Dylan Bryant clears Matt Sisler. Not quite clear, though. As they battle side by side. This is what the race leader, Nick Biddy, wants to see. Is these guys battling for position. All 4 of these cars are fighting for spots. Bryant, Klein, Sisler, Welch, and Collins. Those are all lead lap cars. Zach Millett, 17 seconds back. He was over 25 seconds back just a few laps ago, but I think he's running out of time. He's going to need Nick Biddy and the drivers that are in front of him to have to make a pit stop before this one's over. Millett made his stop back on lap 109. Everybody in front of him, lap 85 to 87, was their last stop for fuel. The question remains, can they make it all the way to the end? Would be a monumental fuel save for Nick Biddy if he can get this done. Again, lap time is getting slower and slower for the 32. It's almost a full 32 seconds flat the last time, 31.94 to be exact. Again, Dylan Bryant in a similar situation, however, only 2 laps more fuel on board by comparison. Biddy ran almost identical lap time this time, 31.93 versus the 94 the previous. Nick Biddy looking for his first win of the season as he crosses start-finish. It'll be 5 laps to go here from Charlotte. Can he stretch the fuel? Can he pull a Joey Logano out of his hat? Whoa, big time lift. 32.45 the last lap. Almost a second slower than second place. If he's got enough to the end, he can do that every lap to the finish. He's got a 5-point-second lead over second place Dylan Bryant, but I don't know. Is it going to be enough? I don't know, some people don't like these fuel mileage races, but man, they get my heart pumping. It's like pulling the pin on a grenade and just waiting for it to go off. Or a jack-in-the-box, if you will. Hate those things. Biddy through 3 and 4. Does he stay out again? He does. Another big lift. Bryant still closing the gap, but Biddy still enjoying a 4-second lead over second place with 2.5 to go. Caution at this point would absolutely crush the 32 as we'd go to overtime. Would add laps. Yes, he'd be able to pit and maybe even put a set of tires on. I don't know if he's got any left. Last lap for Biddy again, a 32.28. Dylan Bryant now half a straightaway behind, 2.8 seconds, but I don't think he's got enough time. Final lap, one more time around. Does Biddy have enough to make it another 1.5 miles here at Charlotte? Biddy looking for his first win of the season. Trying to stretch the fuel on that Ford Mustang. Half a lap to go as Biddy's down the back straightaway. Bryant 1.2 seconds back. Biddy's got to go. I don't know if he can save. He is, though. He's still lifting and coasting in 3 and 4. Bryant closing the gap, but he's not going to be close enough. Into the dog leg for the final time. Biddy across the stripe. He wins it. Nick Biddy gets his first win of the season here at Charlotte. Pulling some monumental fuel save to get it done. Started 10th, parks it in victory lane. Skylar Harrod with a hood over his windshield, trying to keep up here and congratulate the 32. What a job. I think he's out now. I don't think we're going to see any burnouts, unless that's the reason Harrod's pushing him, so he's got enough gas to do it. Nope, that's it. Ran her dry. Nick Biddy parks it here just past start finish with the push from teammate Skylar Harrod. Harrod's going to do the donuts for him. Parks along his teammate to congratulate. Oh, he fired it up for a minute. Nope, not enough. Well, we're going to step aside here. No burnouts for Nick Biddy, but certainly going to be celebratory. We'll be back with our top 3 finishers after this. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
I met Marco Scarza when we were doing radiothons for St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. We needed sponsors to help us raise money, and he's always the first one to jump in. I would describe Marcos and his team as upstanding, someone you can trust, and he is just a genuine guy.
Marcos has been very generous. He has a genuine concern for people. You need somebody that cares about you. And that's what Marcos is, and that's pretty much what this firm is.
The Garza Law Firm. Let us help.
Back at Charlotte Motor Speedway, Nick Biddy victorious here at Charlotte. First win on the season for the driver of the number 32. We're going to pull Nick into the broadcast booth, get a word with our race winner. Nick, it's Steve in the booth. You got me?
I got a copy, bud.
Nick, congratulations, man. What a strategy. What an effort. A 10th place starting position. Didn't have the most pace in qualifying, but quick enough to get through there, get the car to the race lead, but then you never look back. And I don't know, man. How did you save that much fuel?
Well, I mashed the clutch in, turned the car off. No, it was all my crew chief, Caleb Sisk. Man, he had a great call tonight. I mean, that was kind of our plan. Double stint those first set of tires, keep it down the bottom, try to save it. I'm not as good as some of these guys, so I missed it a couple of times. But but we just it all worked out, and it's all thanks to Caleb Sisk. Man, he had a heck of a call.
Strategy certainly helps, but keeping the race car clean, that doesn't hurt either, and that thing does look pretty damn clean after 130 plus laps here at Charlotte. You worked your way through this field carefully, and again, the strategy fell into place the way that it needed to. Did you run out of fuel on the cool-down lap?
I ran out of fuel coming out of 4.
Oh, man. Well, sometimes it's better to be lucky than good. You were a little bit of both here tonight, so job well done. We look forward to next week, Talladega Super Speedway. Obviously, much different style racing than what we're going to see here, though fuel could come into play. Not so much tires, but what's the game plan? What's the strategy? At least what you can share from the Sisk Speed Shop about what you guys are going to be battling next week at Talladega Super Speedway.
Sure. We're going to all try to find one another. I think Connor might need a win to move to the next round, so we're going to try to push him around and keep the car clean, right? And try to get a good finish.
Well, we certainly look forward to it, Nick. Again, job well done here tonight. Super impressive. Even some people in the chat did like, wow, what a fuel save. I'm impressed, man. You guys did a great job.
Oh yeah, I think we saved fuel for like 20 or 30 laps. It was a lot of motion going on in here.
Well, you got it done, Nick. Who do you want to thank before we let you go?
Yeah, for sure. Appreciate you doing the broadcast. You're doing a great job. I've been listening to you here lately. The day after on at work, but my title sponsor G&G Marine, he does check him out. He's up in Saudi Daisy, Tennessee. Get you a duck boat. Obviously, Sisk Speed Shop. Caleb Sisk for doing heck of a job on the crew chief stand tonight. The one, the only, my beautiful smoking hot wife. Thanks, baby. Thank you, Jesse. My kids, Cameron, Coley, and Cora. Appreciate you guys watching. And that's about it for me.
Nick, speaking of your crew chief, Caleb Sisk, he just jumped in the chat and he mentioned also that you guys still had a set of tires over the wall.
We did. We sure did. Yeah, we were prepared.
Just making the field hate you even more.
That's right.
Nick, congratulations, man. Thanks for chatting with us, and good luck next week.
I appreciate it. Hopefully talk to you again soon.
I'm sure it'll happen. Nick Biddy, your race winner here at Charlotte Motor Speedway. What a run. Let's talk to our runner-up, Dylan Bryant. Man, this guy was fast all night long. Put the car on the pole position, had some struggles, had a very near miss late, just barely missing a major accident, and was still able to drive the race car back up into the second spot. Dylan, it's Steve in the booth. You got me?
Oh, yes, Steve. What's up?
Dylan, congratulations, man. I know it's not the finish that you wanted, but after everything tonight, I guess second place ain't too bad, man. Tell us about your night.
Yeah, it started off good. I got pole. I beat the best at the pole, which is, of course, Zach. So I was thrilled about that. But yeah, I took tires on my first stint, and I was needing it to stay green because I knew I could save enough fuel to make it on one more stop and just take tires. And then that plan changed because the caution flag flew, and then it flew again, and that last stint I had to save 1.8 gallons of fuel, and of course I was clutching it and stuff, and I knew that Nick was going to be close on fuel, and I saved just over 2 laps of fuel to the end. So I kind of wish that I would have tried to got going a few laps earlier, and that might have been the difference. But hats off to Nick. He played the strategy well tonight. So
Definitely did a great job with that, but we look forward to Talladega next week. You've got a couple of wins on the season, one of them at Daytona, the other one at Atlanta Motor Speedway, both drafting tracks as of late. You're going to be a big contender there next week. How do you feel about your odds for win number 3?
Of course, I'm going to try to go for it. But the bigger picture is I got to get my teammate Albert up there, and if I got to push him to a win to lock in him, and because I think he finished 16th tonight, so he didn't have a very good points night. So I'm going to be mainly focused on him some, but if the opportunity arises, I will definitely take it.
Well, we're certainly looking forward to it, Dylan. Congratulations on a runner-up finish here at Charlotte here tonight. Great qualifying run, great race. Job well done, man. Who do you want to thank?
Yeah, well, first and foremost, it's an honor to share the podium with Chris and Nick. They are great guys and stuff. A shout out to Derek, everything he does, all the admins, all the sponsors, All-Star Racing, Albert, Russell, and them. A shout out to them, and I got a few friends watching the news, well, the broadcast, not news feed, but the broadcast. So a shout out to Larry Dickerson, and all the fans that tunes into you. I'm pumped about it. It's playoff time. I'm going to try to win a championship. I got nine guys. If I make it, it's tough to beat. So, and then Steve, shout out to you, HBR TV. Every broadcast is top notch. So I'm excited about the future with NTRL and stuff, and yeah, hopefully I get to talk to you at Dega, and maybe at our last track for the championship.
Certainly looking forward to it, Dylan. Again, congratulations, man. Things are coming together for you. Hope that continues going into Talladega and Homestead throughout the rest of the season. Thanks for the kind words as well, and we'll talk to you again.
All right, Steve, you have a great night. Thank you.
Too. It's Dylan Bryant, your runner-up here at Charlotte. Next, we're going to talk to the driver of the number 51 Snap-on machine. That is Chris Klein. Pull him up into the booth and get a word with the driver of the 51. Chris, it's Steve in the booth. You got me. Chris Klein, you got us?
Yes, sir.
Hey, there we go. Chris, long time no talk, but there was a string. We had you up here in the booth after every single race for a while, and it seems that you've made a bit of a comeback. Third place finish here at Charlotte. Is there more in store moving forward?
I don't know. I've started a new job. I literally got in here I think a minute into qualifying, like I have most nights lately. But it's just fun to get to come out and hang out with the guys and get to race. And hey, us slow guys can get up there every once in a while and get lucky,
Well, I'll say this much. Slow guys don't pass 16 cars on the racetrack, and he did just that. Certainly a hard charger award. The next closest was the race winner, Nick Biddy. He moved up 9 positions. So you beat him by almost half when it comes to number of cars passed for position in this race. So job well done there. Of course, a third place finish as well. What was the fuel strategy on your end? I know Nick Biddy, Dylan Bryant, and yourself all in relatively similar fuel situations. What was the game plan?
Yeah, Team NTRL, at least for me, I was slow from the beginning. Not having any practice, I qualified and couldn't understand why I was a 10th faster than the guy in front of me looking at the speed charts, and then I realized I was a second behind him. And I knew right from the beginning I was going to have to do something a little bit different than everybody else to try to get up there and be competitive. So I just took it easy from lap 1, and we got that first caution. I came in, topped off, and that put me right on the edge of being able to make it on 2 stops from that point. And so I just babied it as much as I could, tried to stretch the fuel to every bit of 40 laps, and just hope that we went green. With being a smaller field tonight, thought we would get a little more of a clean race than we ended up getting, but it worked out close enough to where we were able to stretch the fuel out every stint there and make it to the end, and just lucked up and ended up where we did.
Well, a job well done, a solid top 3 finish here at Charlotte. Looking forward, of course, next week, Talladega Super Speedway. What's the game plan there? That one's going to be a bit of a crapshoot, don't you think?
Absolutely, but probably not block as aggressively as I did Sunday night, maybe. got a little aggressive there and got turned. But yeah, Talladega is always fun. I always have a lot of fun at the plate tracks or super speedways, whatever you want to call them now. It's a different kind of skill set, for sure. There's definitely a skill to it. Just being able to see what's going on in front of you and understanding what's happening and reading what's happening behind you and kind of knowing where things are coming from and knowing fast enough where things are coming from. But yeah, I look forward to it. I'm glad I'm not in the playoffs. It's very tense in the playoffs going into a place like that where somebody else's mistake can very easily affect you. So don't want to be a part of that. I will definitely be less aggressive, being that there's so many people that put a lot of effort into the season. Try to be respectful in that aspect.
Well, we certainly look forward to it, Chris. Congratulations again. Solid run here tonight. Who do you want to thank before I let you go?
Just everybody over at NTRL. Really enjoyed being a part of that league. I've been here a couple years now. Just how it's grown, how people come and go, and mainly how the community just kind of wraps around anybody that's involved in it, how we always come together to help each other and try to make everybody faster that's in the league. We've had a lot of guys that have come in here that literally could not even be remotely competitive, that through them coaching, through some of the people in the league and helpful words here and there, have gotten to where they're fairly competitive and get to run up front. You know, myself included, when I started, there was no chance that I'd be up front. So it's always a blast to watch people grow and have fun and enjoy the recreation sport that we have. So I love that. Love the league, love the people in it, competitors and teammates alike.
Well, Chris, congratulations again. Thanks for chatting with us, and good luck next week.
Thanks, man. Thanks for all you do for us.
Happy to do it. Thanks, Chris. It's Chris Klein, your third-place finisher here at Charlotte Motor Speedway. That's going to wrap up the interview portion of tonight's broadcast. Let's take a look at our race results. Of course, we talked to Nick Biddy, Dylan Bryant, Chris Klein. Those were your top three finishers. Fourth place was Derek Welch, a solid run for the one. Matt Sisler was fifth. Mark Collins, P6. Seventh went to Zach Millett. Chris Goins was eighth. Alfie Charon Jr., ninth. Track Bar Motorsports drivers 7, 8, and 9. 10th was Anthony Williams. 11th, Jesse Redding. Paul Durkee was 12th. Jesse Sperling, 13th. Ben McKinnon was 14th. Skylar Harrod was 15th. Albert Anderson, 16th. 17th went to Brandon Coleman. Joe David finished in the 18th position. 19th place finisher was the 55 of Tom Barish. 20th went to Sean Roberts. 21st, Connor Leach and Joshua Moore. Last but not least in 22nd, 80 laps down. Not sure what happened to Moore. He was okay for a while, and then all of a sudden we noticed he was gone. Didn't know what happened to him, but either way, a last place finish for the number 18 machine. That'll wrap it up for us here tonight. If you guys haven't already done so, youtube.com/@HBRTV1. Click the like button, the thumbs up, the notifications, the subscribe, all of that. Help us out, spread the word. Those things are all free to do, and it does help us immensely, not just us, but also the leagues that we broadcast. Get some fresh eyeballs on all that. It's a positive across the board. So if you can do that, we do appreciate it. It does go a long way. Also, keep in mind, tomorrow night, we are starting our first broadcast with VRL, the Vigilante Racing League, tomorrow night. Tune in about 8:45 Eastern Time here at HBR TV. This is kind of like a brother-sister style league with NTRL and VRL. Those guys work very closely together, but we have finally gotten the opportunity to broadcast for VRL. So tune in for it. It'll be Homestead Miami Speedway. It's round 2 of their playoffs. Should be a good one. So tune in for it again, 8:45 Eastern here at HBR TV. It's already scheduled, so if you want to give yourself a reminder by going to that particular link, clicking the give me a notification or remind me, makes a difference. It does help in case you forget to tune in to the race. Join us for that. It's going to be a good time. With that said, that'll wrap it up for us here at Charlotte. Thank you guys for tuning in. It's been a blast. We'll see you guys tomorrow. Have a good night.